Hello and welcome to the interview segment on Impact Yobe. Today, I'll be speaking with the director and founder of Biomedical Research and Training Center. And of course, he's the special advisor on science, research and innovation to Governor Mahmoud Bukar of Yobe State. He is Professor Mahmoud Bukar Maina. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you. Now, Professor, quickly, I would like to really understand what exactly inspired the establishment of the Biomedical Research and Training Center. And you might also want to further tell us the key challenges that you faced in the early development.
So, I mean, if you look at it from the beginning of civilization, from, let's say, ancient Egypt, the innovations in ancient Egypt, to the advancement of philosophy and science in ancient Greece, to steam engines, for example, in the United Kingdom, and to the discoveries that we see today in the United States of America, all these have been driven by one thing: research and innovation. But Africa has been left behind, even though it is historically the birthplace of innovation. We established Biomedical Science Research and Training Center with the full support of His Excellency Governor Mahmoud Bukar in order to position Yobe State as a leader in this area, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa. And I must say that it has been a challenging but also a very successful journey so far. Okay. Within just 4 years of establishing this center, we now have equipment worth billions of naira, where these are equipment that you can't find anywhere, for example, in Nigeria. And in fact, even within Africa, these are equipment that you can only find in some of the top places like Cape Town, etc. We've been able to train over 1,000 people, including doctors.
To man this equipment?
Yes, to use this equipment in order to advance their work. It could be in diagnosis or research and other kind of avenues of work. Yeah. So all this has been really possible because of the support that we have received from the government, but also from the good people of Yobe State.
All right, now that you've highlighted that, I just want you to give us a bit of, an overview of the challenges you faced while putting up all these structures, because I understand how change can feel in a society where innovations like this are very, very scarce. And trying to bring a change of this magnitude, what kind of challenge did you face initially that inspired you more to want to go further?
So let's go back to the beginning. I left this country almost 15 years ago to go to the United Kingdom to study neuroscience. And there I realized that the scientists and the people and the government work almost like together. You see people doing science and loving it. But they say there is no place like home. Absolutely. I felt like while I was getting everything that I needed there, but it's not, I mean, I could call myself British citizen today, but it's not like Nigeria, Exactly, yeah. So that really gave me that a kind of passion to be able to introduce an ecosystem like that in Nigeria. But of course, I realized that to be able to do this, you need a number of things. You need the qualification. You need the community buy-in.
You need support.
Support from the government or from policy, and institutions. And when I started this journey over 10 years ago, I perhaps wasn't as qualified because I didn't have my PhD. So I tried to do a number of things. In Gombe, I established the first a neuroscience laboratory. I was in Lagos. I brought new equipment, to establish, things there. I was even in other countries outside Nigeria. But I realized one thing. That one thing is that it's one thing to bring in equipment to train people, but sustaining it is another thing. And also to be able to sustain it, perhaps you need the community to feel like that belongs to them, and also for them to support you. And because I was born and raised in Yobe, after going around Africa to establish something, I realized that the best thing to do is to come back home to be able to do this.
All right. As a professor of neuroscience, in your role as special advisor on science and innovation, how are you working to actually bridge the gap between scientific research and policy making in Yobe State?
So, I mean, I've interacted with a lot of policymakers, around the world. In the United States, for example, in the United Kingdom, I was in the British Parliament a while ago, and also in Nigeria at different levels. And I'll tell you, there is one thing that all combines them. Policymakers want to see quick results because they want to, pass policies. That's one thing. And the second thing is that there are competing priorities. So, for example, in Yobe, you could say that there is the issue of security, education, health, infrastructure. So, for me, I believe that one way to kind of address that has always been to try to link, for example, these priorities to research. So, if you look at it, in the case of kidney disease, which is something that is a major problem by the Emirates, So if you look at it,